How's it going, horror fans? This is your favorite gay horror geek, Joby Snyder, and I want to talk about a film that I hold personally to my heart. Um, and I think that any practicing witch um, in real life really can relate to this film. And it was such an important film for young women that were witches and just women in general. And for us little gay boys that, didn't really know that we were witches until much later in their life, but still really loved this movie and it spoke to us and we connected with it. Guys, we are talking about the 1996 horror film, The Craft. And if you're a horror fan, if you do practice witchcraft, you know this movie. This is a classic witch story about four young girls that have the power of the craft. It's really about a new girl that doesn't really fit in, and once she does fit in with somebody, um, it's really about belonging to something, belonging to a group, and feeling strongly about something. Um, this movie is such a stepping stone for cinema and for the craft itself. It's a really coming of age story about girls that are coming into womanhood and trying to find themselves, and they just so happen to have the power, this amazing power that they don't really believe that it's real at first. Um, Sarah, the main character, she comes to a new school, and these three outcast girls kind of discover her and discover that she could be their fourth, and she becomes their fourth, and they become a powerful group of young women. They can make things happen, and they do make things happen. Um, this movie isn't gory, and I'm fine with that. It's not what it's about. Um, it's it's such a powerful message, I think, because this movie really it touches up on so many different things: racism, body shaming, um, sexual assault. All of these things kind of wrap up in the story, and it really touches on a lot of important things. This is really a story about friendship and being able to connect with people and being into the same things that other people are into, the same thing that you're into, and bonding with them and becoming a family. It also becomes a story about betrayal and how people can turn their back on you very quickly, and then they become a nightmare and you become the victim. That's exactly what this movie does. Sarah thinks that she's found true friendships in these three girls, and once she starts to retaliate, once things starts getting violent and she retaliates, they kind of turn their back on her. The magic in this film is done so well. The special effects and how they did what they did with this movie is so amazing. Um, they really bring it to life. Um, this is a very great example of how real Wiccans practice. Of course, there's movie magic and things happen that can't really happen in real life. I always tell people when I tell them I'm a witch, I always say there's a difference between movie witches, TV witches, and real life witches. Um, there is obviously a huge difference, but it's fun to watch movie witches. It's fun to see that magic appear and watch it unfold. Um, some of the stunts that are done in this film are just so amazing and so awesome to see done on screen. It's a true gift to any Wiccan, anyone that practices in real life, will really enjoy this movie. They had an actual witch on set that practiced Wicca, and she kind of studied the girls and had them study the religion and what it is and what it's supposed to be. So they wanted to get it right on point among with the special effects and the movie magic. They wanted to really portray witchcraft in a realistic way. Um, and I think they do just that. Of course, again, this is a movie, so we get things that we're obviously not going to be able to do in real life. But it's still amazing how the fantasy of it mixes in with the reality of it. I think they do that really well. We get an amazing cast in this film. I cannot say her real name, but Nancy is just absolutely fantastic. She's a fantastic character. She becomes a fantastic villain. She becomes so filled with power that it consumes her and it takes over her, which of course leaves Sarah having to try to stop her before it gets too well. It gets if you've seen this movie, it gets very the girls get very consumed in what they're doing and what they can do. We don't get a lot of deaths in this movie, and I think that's okay. We get one death, and it's important, and it works. This isn't a slasher film. This is a film about four teenage witches and how things can go wrong in the craft, and you can consume so much power until it takes over who you are as an individual, and things can go very wrong, and it does in this film. And Sarah has to find the power within herself to kind of stop Nancy. And it's a full on battle towards the end of the movie with Sarah and Nancy, and it's such a great build up to the ending sequence of this movie. It's very well done. Fun known fact, in the commentary of this film, the director stated that he wanted to make this movie PG-13. He was under the impression that it was going to be a PG-13 movie, so he only put the word fuck in it once. Um, Unfortunately, he learned very quickly that back in the 90s, it was back in the 90s with rating companies, they had to rate it R because it was teenage girls practicing witchcraft. So they had to make it R. Now, the Craft Legacy that just came out a few years ago, um, just a couple years ago, the horrible sequel to this movie, got a PG 13 rating. So I'm not sure if it just changed with time, but during the time that this particular film came out, it had to be rated R because of what it was about. And he said that, the director said, if he would have known that, they would have said fuck a lot more. Not that that's important, but it's just a little fun known fact about this film. But yeah, guys, what a powerful film this is. And if you're into witchcraft, or if you're starting to study witchcraft, or you're a beginner, um, you can't take it too seriously because it is a movie. But I highly recommend um, you watching this film. There's so many other witch films that exist that are fun that you can watch. Um, but this one is really the number one film that does it right, and you can actually learn a little bit about the craft with this movie. Um, it's very educational in a weird way. Um, but in a perfect way, because it really does explain what Wiccan is and what witchcraft is. Um, so yeah, guys, if you're bored and it's a Saturday night and you're looking for a classic movie to watch, I highly recommend you go check out The Craft. You will not be disappointed. And until next time, my horror fans, stay scared, stay safe, and happy watching.